I don't think there's anything better than an annual reflection and wrap up because we need to take a look at what we've done and figure out what worked so we can do more of it. So I'm going to share with you my top 10 things that I did this year that resulted in having a successful year. And I'm so glad I did them. So I'm going to get right to them because there's a lot. So the first thing I did consistently this year was crunch my numbers. I crunched them all the time. Now, it wasn't just revenue numbers because those are fairly easy for me to track. Every time I launch into my dashboard, I can see them. But it was more about looking at the fine details of my conversion numbers that made a big difference. Now, I try to get all of my members and clients to do this because so often we will look at our funnels and make really bad decisions to either chuck out everything that we have in them and start afresh, or we won't work on optimizing the small gaps that we have in them. And that is a real tragedy because we end up trying to do stuff over and over again instead of just looking at how to improve things. So I did that this year and I responded accordingly. So what I actually did was take a look at how my webinars were doing, my live webinars, my evergreen webinars, and I made some decisions based on those on how my rest of the year was going to play out. Was I going to pump more money into ads? Were the results that I was getting from them good enough to keep trying to scale with that strategy? And what else could I do? So I looked at those. I did a few different cycles. Then I looked at those numbers and then I realized that I needed to just put the brakes on for a little while of putting in more money into those funnels. Now, those funnels work really, really well, but I was struggling to make them work from ads. And so therefore, I just backed off that. And I still had lots of people who came in, but they found me in more warmer and hotter ways. And it allowed me to see that I can still attract great people into my world to work with, but I just needed to take a pause on that. And that's an interesting place to be at because when you have a great product or service that has served tons of people in the past and is still serving people now, but you can't quite find the way to scale it, sometimes you can kind of drive yourself crazy looking for new ways to do it. So I put a little bit of a pause on that, and that was really good for me because that relates to number two. So this year I managed my energy really mindfully. So what I did do was follow the plan. I got a bit scrappy. I did a few extra things, like I created a really great workshop series in the summer because it was a slow time for me and I wanted to attract more people to me in different ways, especially the people already on my list. And I created a couple of amazing new workshops that are totally awesome and I love them. And I'm using them in different ways, like presenting to different groups and also in bundles. And I'm really excited I did that. However, they didn't necessarily become things that I would do for the long term, like, for example, creating an ads fed paid workshop funnel because it just felt too risky at the time. So I did that when I had a bit of slow time, but then after that, I didn't try to layer on too much. I didn't keep trying to launch things. I didn't keep trying to push at things that were stressful for me. I had a huge dip in my energy this year, just life stuff, physical stuff that I couldn't do much about. So I just wanted to coast a little bit with that. And then guess what? The floodgates opened in October. I feel like the late summer was a really, really slow time for a lot of people, and especially me. And pushing against that was not going to make it much better. And instead, just reducing my expenses a little bit and still working the business, but in a way that was less stressful, turned out to be really profitable because, again, a lot of clients came in and I didn't have to pay out a lot of expenses to get those great clients. So that's how I shifted my thinking a little bit. Instead of trying to push up the hill really hard, I needed to coast a bit more, and it worked out pretty well in the end. The third thing I did was raise my prices a little bit. Now, despite the fact that I was wondering why things weren't selling this year, and at times I was thinking that maybe the market just needs lower prices right now. Maybe everyone's feeling cautious, and I think people definitely were, especially June through September. However, I really got clear on what the value of my service is. And so I raised my prices on my VIP days a little bit unintentionally, but I did anyway. And then I still attracted amazing clients to me, people who have successful businesses and memberships already. And those are great people to serve with that kind of offer. So I'm really excited that I did that. And I'm really proud of myself that despite being tempted to retract my prices on other programs, I didn't, because you know what? I didn't need to. It was just a really weird, slow period. So in the end, I'm glad that I raised them a little bit. And I think I brought my prices up to the value of my experience and my knowledge. And it's really paying off because I'm having a lot of fun with businesses who have a lot of traction and they need a bit of fine tuning. And that's making a big difference for them. I'm adding a lot of value and it's really fun work for me. The fourth thing I did was develop my confidence from experimentation. Now, I have been experimenting for a few years, and this year was no exception. As I mentioned, I created new workshop series. I changed my pricing a little bit and how I was setting up my offers and selling them. But I did try a few things, and I'm glad I continued because by the fall, I felt like I'd had enough experiments and had enough data to be able to look at everything as a whole and make decisions that I could really stick with. Now, the challenge is when we don't experiment enough, we don't have enough information. And so we make decisions based on an idea that you see come across your feed, or hearing somebody else talk about something, or just a whim. And sometimes those don't take us on the right path. Now, you can know that you can be pretty confident going down a path of action if you have looked at the numbers over time and tried a few things, and you can pretty much come to a good conclusion based on that. So that helped me with my confidence about what I offer, who I can serve really well, and what I really need to do going forward. So I built confidence based on that and not just relying on my energy or my mood or a casual client here and there saying something nice about working with me. It just really helped me to see over time how things panned out. And that really helped me feel good about where I am right now and what I'm pursuing going forward. Confidence is a lot in business, and you can fake it till you make it, but at some point you really want to feel it, and it's got to come from you internally. That's what's going to keep you going long term without feeling like you're putting on too much of a mask and faking it, and that's going to cause you a bit of burnout in the end. So what you want to really do is do things enough times to be able to get an honest reflection of what you need to do and what is working really, really well. On that note, number 5 was all about immersing myself in online marketing. I can honestly say after the last couple of years of really working hard at building my funnels, really learning how to take my content and not only offer really great help to people, but making sure that it's leading to sales, meaning that it does a good job of inviting people to work with me and getting the help they really need. Often what we do in our sales funnels with our content is we give so much information away and we fail to really make the connection to how they can really get to where they want to by working with us. And sometimes we do that because we think we're giving more value, but in the end, it's not really allowing that window of opportunity for them to step into that greater support. That is something that I had to learn the hard way. It took me years and years and years to finally be able to position things in a way that helped them see the transformation that they truly wanted through how I was presenting my information. So that was a big learning curve for me. Again, the numbers have helped, but it was also just really getting my head around how to communicate with people, how to create a bigger connection with people. That's been a work in progress for a couple years, but I really felt like I became an expert this year. Like I honestly felt like I could help other people with their online marketing with 100% confidence and what they need to do and how they need to bring everything together into a smooth machine that really helps to attract the right people, put them through more nurturing sequences, and help them find the best funnels for their products. And I just feel like I reached a whole new level of that this year. And that's awesome because when you've got an online business, you've got to have a real strong grounding in online marketing. So that has been amazing. And I'm going to share with you a little bit how I got there in the next few. So number 6 was I took full advantage of the programs and the support inside the high-end mastermind that I've been in for 2 years. Now, the previous year, I also did get a lot of support, but this year I really leaned into it and I really followed a lot of the trainings. I sought a lot of advice and feedback. And I think that's what helped me to become that online marketer who feels really comfortable making decisions and taking information and running with it really quickly without spending too much time on it. I also got a lot of mindset support, which helped me get over some of the blocks I'd had around how to pursue business going forward. And I just feel like I lightened up a lot and felt more clear on what I wanted and what was important to me. So that combination of leaning into the support helped me get to a place where I feel really comfortable with myself, really comfortable with the kind of business I want and how I talk about it. So that was helpful for me because it's so easy to feel isolated in your business where you don't really know what to do. You really doubt yourself. You wonder what other people are doing. And I think I just got over a lot of that. So number 7, believe it or not, was actually deciding to leave the mastermind after a couple of years. That was also a really good decision that I had to make about a month ago. And reflecting on that, I think it was good for me to do. Now, for one, it was pretty high ticket. So when my slow period hit this summer, it did cause me a bit of a panic because as you commit for a year, I would have felt a little bit more at ease without that big expense over a period of time where I wasn't really seeing the ROI come in. So while I have no regrets about all the support I got in the past year, I feel really strong going forward and I can lean into support in different ways. For example, my assistant, who is really helpful in helping me build a new brand, and having that daily connection to someone and more of it is more of what I need right now than just validation for my decisions. There's something about having really great support and then also taking a step away from that to help you fly on your own a little bit. And I think that's the fine balance between getting the help you need and then codependency. And I didn't really want to be codependent going forward. I also really felt like I had a clear vision of what I wanted and I didn't have a lot of doubt. So it just felt like the right time. And now I feel a little bit more peaceful about hitting any kind of slow month in the next little while and knowing I can invest in other tools because I had all my support in one place. And now I can just utilize more automations and tools like that because I've freed up a little bit of my expenses in order to like explore other things that I need that can really shortcut my life. And that brings me to number 8. So I mentioned that I was leaning a little bit more on my assistant. I've empowered her to do more for my business and take on some things completely on her own within her skill set and offload some of the stuff that I would have potentially done myself. But now I have increased her time a little bit more and we're working together more closely on things that she's probably better at than I am. So I'm really excited that I have embraced that I've created space in my business to be able to do that because despite the fact that admin and technical stuff can be really easy to do because it's right in front of us, it's something that we really need to let go of in order to free up creative time to do things that are more important to the business bottom line. So that was a really great move for me. The 9th thing that I did, which I have to admit that I did in the last couple months more than anything, was harness AI. I am using AI like crazy in this new subscription that I'm creating. I'm so excited because it's helping me get my head around all the information that I need to get out there in order to communicate it. So while I wasn't using it as much in the past because I was mostly writing copy, I have some great GPTs that are helping me create content based on inputting knowledge and helping me just crank out way more stuff. Like it is incredible how fast I'm able to do it. And with the type of creativity required, because I'm launching basically a new brand in a couple of weeks, I needed to get through that really fast. And I don't think I would have been able to do this without my assistant and without AI to help me crank out content a lot faster because now I've got 2 brands. One is making me money and one is a future thing. So I need to be able to be really efficient. And as I mentioned in number 2, I still need to manage my energy. I cannot work over 40 hours a week. It's not working for me. So therefore, I need to take the shortcuts as they are available, and they are definitely available right now. They're really making a difference in my creativity and my efficiency. And that brings me to number 10, trying something completely new. Now, while there's always a balance between doing what you've been doing over and over again so that you can create efficiency, look at the gaps, crunch out the numbers, analyze the data, and help you make good decisions. Often we're not meant to be doing new things all the time. And for some people, that's their entire business model and it works for them. But I still think that almost everyone is going to burn out from that eventually. Because if we're not in a particularly creative phase and we can't keep cranking out those ideas and creating all the new funnels and all the new sales pages and all the things that go with that, then we might get a little bit tired of it. So it is really good to have a foundational business, one that has a signature program that you know delivers great value, a way of working with clients that you know lights you up and it provides them with really great outcomes. Those are awesome to have. But at the same time, we can't do that forever. We cannot stagnate. And that's maybe what I started doing a little bit. So I've been thinking about things that have been on my mind for decades, which is a lot of personal development stuff, and how I've managed my energy, how I've managed my productivity, my efficiency, my decision making, how to feel good about what I do, deal with doubt and all that. And I have worked hard on that for years. And I really love talking about personal growth and development. And I always have. And that was something that I thought, in my current business topic, I don't want to talk about it all the time on the socials. So maybe it's time to start talking about things that I'm really curious about. And I'm really happy to share my own experience. And that's why I've created a new subscription called ADHDish Toolbox. And I cannot wait to launch that in a couple weeks. In fact, the wait list is open right now. So if you want to check it out, go to ADHDish.com and you can get on the wait list and you'll be the first to know of the founding members launch when it's open. So one of the reasons why I decided to do a subscription is because I had an excellent course available to me in my mastermind. I had a step-by-step process to help me create the subscription and understand what I would do to get it all figured out, to get the content created, and also build the funnel for it. I'd ended up doing this on a topic that I cannot wait to share tools on because I've been amassing tools for decades in this area. And a subscription dovetails nicely with my current business, which is all about helping people grow memberships and subscriptions. So this has been a really fun project for me. And I also decided to up-level my technology and put it all on FG funnels, which was also interesting because my current business setup is a hodgepodge of programs and tools that I have zapped together really nicely. It's a great system. It all works, but I haven't experimented with new systems for a long time. And I was really ready to gain access to a more sophisticated automation, marketing, and course and membership site program. It's given me more to teach my own members. The learning has helped me grow, and I really have enjoyed leveling up. So deciding to do something new has been a great move all around. The whole process of it has been fun. The pushing through the content, the taking the leap has been scary, but also helped me grow as a person and step more into the leadership role that I really know that I can be if I let myself. And also creating a new tool that I think will be really fun and less about me and more about helping others think through their own life and their own journey and decide what matters to them and what they want out of life. And that to me feels like a really fun thing to work on. And so in reflecting back on that, I realized that having a product that really serves a strong mission for me is super important. I've always been values driven. Right out of the gate in university, I went into working in corporate social responsibility and sustainability because I didn't want just any kind of job. I wanted a job that made impact. So I feel like I'm full circling back to that a little bit more by helping people feel better about themselves and get more out of their life. So that's coming totally full circle with this launch of this new subscription, and also helped to serve my current business by doing something that is adjacent and aligned and within the realm of the experimentation that I need to do to lead people in memberships learn about how to go about doing it like this. So this is a new experiment, but it's been fun and so far so good. I'm not as attached to it being a success out of the gate. I'm committed to working on it for the long term, and that's something that's going to really fulfill me and hopefully a whole bunch of other people who join. So if you're curious about that, again, go on over to ADHDish.com and then take a few minutes for yourself to reflect on your 2024 and what really worked well for you so that you can make sure you're doing more of it moving forward, because that's what it's all about: commitment and consistency. So Thanks for being here on this journey with me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.